In the studio, first up, the European Union giving Ukraine a helping hand.
It is indeed, by the looks of it. The European Union is stepping in to help Ukraine's new leaders shore up their economy. Overall, the European Commission says the EU is ready to provide Ukraine with 11 billion euros. The aid package would consist of both loans as well as grants. Joe Tandy breaks down the figures for us and looks at how far the money would go.
A day after the US proposed a billion-dollar aid package, European Commission President José Manuel Barroso took his turn to play the herald of good news for Ukraine's economy.
The package combined could bring an overall support of at least 11 billion euros over the next couple of years.
Of the 11 billion euros on the table, 3 billion will come from the EU Commission itself, 5 billion from the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, and 3 billion more from the European Investment Bank. Of the 3 billion euros coming directly from the EU Commission's purse, 1.6 billion takes the shape of loans, with the remaining 1.4 billion coming as grants. The EU plans to spread the money over the period up to 2020, meaning only a small part of the package is for immediate use. The Ukrainian government said it needs more than 25 billion euros over the next 2 years to avoid bankruptcy. Beyond direct support for the Ukrainian national budget, the EU money will help pay for infrastructure projects like reforming the gas transit system, plus judicial and political reform. European leaders meet in Brussels on Thursday to sign off on the deal. Even then, the EU will need the green light from the International Monetary Fund before handing over large parts of the cash.
Now, the European Commission seems to have had a busy day on Wednesday. It also placed France and its spending habits under close surveillance. It comes as the Commission says France will fail to bring its budget deficit down to agreed levels. It stresses the need for decisive action. Otherwise, the Commission says France's finances could weigh on the wider Eurozone economy. Meanwhile, the private sector in the Eurozone is growing at its fastest pace in 2.5 years. That's according to research firm Market and its Purchasing Managers Index for February. Both the manufacturing and services sector are seen expanding, and it's seen as a fresh sign that the Eurozone is pulling away from the crisis. France is the only laggard. It's the only country in the Eurozone to report a contraction in business activity. Now, investors, they've been digesting those encouraging signs from Europe. At the same time, they're also keeping an eye on the Ukraine situation after a volatile week so far. This is how the stocks fared over on Wall Street on Wednesday. The indices ended the session nearly unchanged. It comes as the Federal Reserve said that a harsh winter had impacted the US economy. Slower than expected hiring in the private sector during February was seen as a sign of that. And this is the result in the markets, as you can see. In Europe at the close, the markets, they were in negative territory. It follows strong gains on Tuesday and strong falls or sharp falls on Monday over concerns about Ukraine. And if we take a look at some individual company news, Carrefour was the biggest winner on the CAC 40 on Wednesday, with shares gaining 4.4%. It came as the world's second largest supermarket group reported a rise in annual profits. Carrefour's net profit for 2013 was 1.25 billion euros. The retailer was helped by strong growth in South America and a recovery in its home market, France. Speaking of France, French media company Vivendi has confirmed there are 2 suitors for its mobile network SFR. Vivendi says the conglomerate Bouygues and cable group Altice have put in offers. Sources have told newspaper Le Figaro the offer from Bouygues is worth more than 15 billion euros. That would place it above the offer from Altice, worth just under 15 billion. The French telecom sector is heading for consolidation as tough competition has put pressure on profitability. And a competition watchdog in Italy has slapped Swiss drug companies with a fine for tricking consumers to buy more expensive drugs. Novartis and Roche have been told to pay 182 million euros together. The watchdog says the 2 companies had played up the difference between 2 similar products to treat sight problems. The allegation is that they steered consumers towards the more expensive product. Novartis rejects the accusation. Okay, that is the business news for now. Back to you, Mark.
Marcus Carson, as ever, thank you very much indeed.